right, and welcome back to episode 070 of the Okay.
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 Okay. Okay.
Okay. I know we say podcast.
Okay.
Powered by the Strength Co. episode 070. I'm your host, Grant Broggi, recording to you live from an undisclosed location inside the Wes. And I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Jeff Buege, honorary Mormon and honorary Salt Lake City resident. Actually, I think he just lives there is how you would say that. It's not really like an honorary resident. I think in Salt Lake, they just call that residence. But he's coming by way of Salt Lake City, Utah. And we are missing the third, which we like to call the trace. We don't know where he is. And that's, I mean, we know where he is. Okay. Nothing is missing.
Could be anywhere.
OPSO, nothing's missing. EXO, nothing's missing.
Okay. We don't accountability. Is that what I'm hearing?
We just, my favorite thing ever. Does anyone have eyes on ex-Marine? It's like, oh no, gosh, whatever's coming after this, I'm not going to like. But lots to talk to you about. The price of Bitcoin is $103,141.62, which means you are rich. If you did nothing else but take this podcast as financial advice, which I hope you did, obviously you're on your way to tripling your wealth. And triple the money means more Strength Co plates in your gym, means more helmets in your man cave. And it puts money in the back of American pockets where it belongs. So yeah, buy Bitcoin or actually now maybe sell. I don't know. HODL. But Bitcoin is through the moon. We have a lot to talk about. It may look like we missed a podcast last week. We didn't. It's just a time zone change.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just, this is actually recorded in the future. So you may be like, oh, they didn't make it 70 weeks in a row. Technically, like it's like Hulk Hogan said it best. He's like, back when I was wrestling, I wrestled 400 days a year. And everyone's like, what a dumb wrestler. But he was flying to Japan and then back and crossing the date time group. Yeah. And so like, I'm basically my buddy that is Hulk Hogan right now. And it may seem like we missed a week, but we didn't. Okay. Don't think about it too much. Just take my word for it. We'll get you on the back end, as we like to say. We'll get you on the back end.
Love it.
Hey, we might get you 2 in 1 week. You never know. Like a 72 of OK podcast.
Oh my goodness.
That could be good. And with that,
my goodness,
I'll turn it over to the 3.
Oh goodness. Looks like we're a little light in this meeting. I think a lot of people got leave put in. So it might be a quick one. So we'll just go around. If you got anything for the group, let us know. S1 admin Bubba's.
Yeah, sir. I'll keep it really quick. If you look at the numbers on the slides, they're all wrong, but they're right in the system. And it's on this sticky note right here that you can cover that slide up with and just read.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Great. Okay. Love that. So we do not have 53NO. Is that what I should, that's a typo. Is that correct?
No, sir. There's not a new 53 naval officer JTAC team attached to us just yet, but we've put in the toker.
Oh, okay. Great. Excellent. I love a toker. They always get approved all the time. Every toker has ever been approved. And yeah, they update those things. This is true. All right. 2, what do we got? Intel, anything?
I talked to the G2 at division because all of a sudden everything becomes a G once it gets to division. So instead of an S, it's a G. Have you ever thought about that?
Not a shop anymore. Who knows what it is?
It's not a shop. It's just the generals too. And so I talked to the G2 at division and they said that the laminator is now on order.
Excellent.
It's just not funded.
No, not okay. Got it.
We're waiting on the fiscal year, and the fiscal year turnover. It's at Congress. Those dang congressmen, they don't get what we do for our country. And it comes from a different pot of money. It's like the PID G versus the PID B. And so that there needs to be a continuing resolution. That's all. Also, I know majors have been promoted. And so you'll get it later on in your career, how all the money works, but it's on order.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Okay. Let's see. Let's talk FOPS real quick. Okay. Future operations. The future looks bright. That's all I can say. All right, we'll move on. Current operations. Currently, we are in this meeting, and it is operational, right? We've got tactical mindsets when we're in this Teams meeting. Yeah, I know we got people dialed in. I hope you got cami paint on your face. You're in the prone.
But don't wear it in the PX.
Off.
Do not wear the cami paint in the PX. Yeah, don't do that.
Goodness gracious me. No. Yeah. What does the world come to? But yeah, current operations, that's what we got. Keep picking up the trash. All right. I've been seeing some refuse here and there. Let's not be litter bugs. Come on now, folks. Let's pick up the trash.
Speaking of trash, if I can trash chicks real quick, Tully's Coffee, Barista's Black. It's my favorite. A lot of the kids these days drinking white monsters and driving Subarus around with their Zens. I got a word for them, but I won't say it. But I got this Tully's Coffee, and this is a can. Okay, it's an aluminum can. It is not to go with the plastic. It goes in a different bin, the can's bin. And if you look at these signs, one may say bottles, BOTTLES, and one will say trash. That's my favorite can, TRASH, trash. And and then one will say cans, CA Charlie Alpha November apostrophe Sierra. And that's the Kansas trash. It's not from Kansas. It's the Kansas trash. So he's got his own trash, the Kansas trash. And I just want to say thanks to the Devil Dogs out there putting them Kansas trash up, because without that Kansas trash, we wouldn't have no trash at all.
Oh, my gosh. We wouldn't know whose trash it was. Oh, my God. Well, it's
the old Kansas trash.
I'm glad that got cleared up. Wow. All right. Moving along. We're setting record time here. S4, the four shop.
Four's out. Okay. MO, I do have an update. We have a dental rodeo this week.
Oh, a dental rodeo.
Yeah, it's different from a stand down. So most of the time we get everyone around for dental, we just stand down. But this time we're mounting up on horses and bulls.
Okay, we're good. Bringing in some cattle. Okay, that's good. That's good.
We're going to do the dental rodeo. Oh man, wow. I'd never heard of that one.
Oh, that was real.
That was real. Yeah, that was real.
Well, yeah, I guess why would you? Who could make up such a thing?
Yeah, we don't have that much creativity. We're just reinventing the wheel. S6 says comms are up, chaps. So I do got a trash chicks here. Just got to apologize real quick. We didn't get a chance for the outline stations to get on. We just been a little busy. Everybody's been training hard, which I appreciate. Thanks, team. So we've been a little behind on getting the outline stations, but every listener is a podcaster. Okay. That's our mantra. That's what we always said. Every listener is a podcaster. And so you should just assume next week that episode 071 is going to go and get on the line anyway. And you may not know what time it is, but that's what being a podcaster is all about. It's about being ready. And but we'll try and get you next week's episode. That's all I got. Thanks for what you do, team.
Every listener podcaster. Well, that's great. That's our motto. It's always been our motto. It's going to keep being our motto. It's our ethos. It is our way of life. It's a lifestyle. It doesn't stop when you leave work for the day. You leave the office, shut the door, turn out the lights. You are still a podcaster.
A podcaster. That's right. And you know what? If something happens to you this weekend, you get hit by a friggin' daggone car or you get arrested by the friggin' daggone police, it's not going to say your name arrested. It's going to say, okay, podcaster arrested. Okay. Let that sink in your brain. Okay. It ain't about you anymore. It's about the organization. And with that, before we get into our topics and turn it over to the real three, this episode is brought to you by BW Tax, BWTaxLLC.com. Tax season is over for most of you. Hopefully you did it the right way. And the right way is BW Tax. No matter where you live in the great state of South Carolina in the upstate, where BW is, or you live in Alaska. He can handle your taxes and do whatever you need him to do. So reach out to bwtaxllc.com. Great guy, better at taxes. Second thing, if you're not watching us on YouTube, head over to the YouTube channel. And I am like full on Richard Nixon right now in a presidential debate. I cannot stop sweating. It has never been more humid in my life. My towel's been wet for 5 days. My buddy, I guess what I would say is my buddy is just built for the Orient. The cars are made for his size of stature. It's 6'1", 230, just fits in the little toaster so well. The restaurants where you have to take your shoes off and sit Indian style. I'm guessing over here they don't call that Indian style. But anyway, you know what I mean? It's just not the most comfortable position for him. The doorways being about at 5 foot is great. We need more signage to say, watch your head. And the humidity for a guy that already likes to sweat. He's built for this, built for this. He's like a guy from Nebraska that's a fullback playing football. He's just built for it.
That sounds great. Well, hey, better than a dry heat, a dry heat.
Oh, man. The dry heat is.
Goodness gracious me.
Yeah.
Well, do we want to kick it off with some talk about what your buddy's been up to, or what you can talk about what your buddy's been up to? Do we talk sports?
Let's get in sports. We can talk about my buddy a little later. Yeah.
All right. I like that. Well, great time for sports right now. We got playoffs going on for NHL, NBA, and then MLB regular season is kind of like catching its stride. Some teams are, shaking off the funk of the early weeks of the season. What's going on with the Celtics? Down 0-2?
Yeah, rough, man. First game, I was my buddy was out at another base at a time and had looked it up on the phone, and then was in like the PX area, and there was like 3 minutes left. Celts go up on a nice run, gets down to the wire. Tatum misses like 3 threes, which I don't know why they were all threes. But anyway, like to end the game, goes to overtime, then loses, and then I went back and read all the stuff. And it was like had been up by 20. And then the next game, the very same thing, up by 20, blow it, lose by 1. 0-2 coming out of the Garden, not where you want to be. But I don't know. I'm not like, I think they're a better team than the Knicks. Obviously you have to play the game, but I think they're, so I'm not, the stats aren't terrible. 0-2, it's terrible. 0-3, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you win game 3, it gets down to like 60-40, you still lose the whole thing. But then if you split 2-2, it like actually goes back to the Celtics' favor. So we'll see, one game at a time. So, but yeah, that wasn't good. Especially just to lose that way. It's like one thing in basketball, you'll come out and just like lay an egg, but to be up by 20 in the 4th on game 2 and blow it. That ain't Larry Bird basketball right there. I'll tell you that.
That's rough. Let's
see. Cavs saved their season tonight.
Yeah.
So Pacers were up 2-0. Yeah. Cleveland won that one. Nuggets are playing the Thunder right now. If I remember right, the T-Wolves are having a hard time. Let me pull up and see where they are.
Looking 1-1.
1-1. Okay, yeah. I think their first game was rough. Yeah, then they smacked Golden State. Yeah. I do remember that.
Yeah.
So
and I think Curry will be out for a little bit with like a hamstring pull or a strain.
Yeah.
So like that helps. That helps their chances. So I'm pulling for the T-Wolves in that one.
Jets beating up on the Stars right now. Dallas is up 1-0.
Sorry,
Trey. He's probably at the game.
That's
probably why he's not here. He's at the game, and he's going to regret this. The Stars are going to get blown out, and it's because he forgot that every listener is a podcaster.
Sorry,
so,
we'll forgive him.
But playoff hockey, it's tough to play in tall grass.
That is true.
Yep.
Yeah, it'd be crazy if there was grass on the ice.
Yeah, it would be.
Make it tough.
I guess that's why it's called the Garden.
Hey,
all the grass.
All the grass.
Let's see. Padres are not bad.
Padres are good. Jack White's Tigers are good. I think they got the best record in baseball. He went to
3 games in a day. What's he doing?
He's
I saw him post I saw him post a photo. I was like, did one game like go into the wee hours of the morning and then the next day was a doubleheader? Or is he just lying?
It must have been something like that.
Yeah. He would never lie. He's like Zach Top.
Oh, yeah.
He sleeps like a baby. He's never been late to work.
He never lies.
The Red Sox have some drama.
What's going on? I saw some headline and I wasn't really sure what was going on.
I gotta send it back to Kitchen Six to get the full translation. But so it came out like Raffy. So the Red Sox were like, "Hey, you're just gonna play DH," and Raffy said, "Okay." And I don't know what the deal was or the why, but he's their big money guy, the franchise guy, and he's just gonna play DH. And so Tristan Casas has been at first, been struggling, and then tore his knee. I think his knee, ACL, tendon, something. So he's out for the season. And so the headlines are Raffy Devers says he won't play first base. Raffy Devers says he was told he was only going to play DH. Raffy Devers said he should know he was a player. And it's just like 4 scathing headlines. So then I get on like all the X accounts I follow for Red Sox, and it's something like ESPN translators are the worst. And I listened to it back in Spanish, and then I listened to this guy's take, and apparently the reporters says something to the effect of, Raffy, are you going to play first base? And he says, well, I'm in a weird position because they told me I was only going to DH. And so I haven't even been playing third, and I'm not the kind of guy that can transition from third to first quickly. And so if I'm going to play first, I need to do it immediately, but I've just been preparing to play DH. The manager should know he was a player, that I'm not a guy that can like transition positions quickly.
Yeah.
And so that's allegedly the real story. So I don't know. Carita.
That's interesting.
Carita, baby face. That's what they call him. Carita. So we'll see. But their season's not. It's baseball. It's a lot of games. They're one game over 500. The AL East is absolutely just trash. They're one game over 500. The Red Sox have played the easiest schedule in baseball thus far, and they're only 2 games behind the Yankees.
Hey, not bad. Not bad place to be sitting, right? All right.
Speaking of baseball, well, how the Braves doing before I move out of Atlanta?
They're definitely recovered from their like atrocious start to the season. They're just below 500. Won last night, extra innings. Actually, I don't know if it's a good story, but it's so a buddy that I played baseball with at school texted me. He was like, "Hey, are you watching the Braves game right now?" And I'm, haven't got a text message from this guy in like probably a year or so. And I'm like, "No, I'm not." He's like, "Oh, they just executed like the most beautiful like bunt coverage." So I like try to go try to find it so I can watch the game. No dice. But then Braves end up winning in the bottom half of the inning. So like save the run in the next half inning, win the game. So great win for the Braves. And then like see the play in the morning on the Braves Instagram. And it's like pitcher does the perfect thing. Guy shows to bunt, pitcher throws up and in. So he like can't get it down the third baseline because the first baseman's like charging in, like, right. And then the third baseman's like hanging back. They execute it perfectly, like get the guy at third. And then in the bottom half of the inning, one of the guys, rookie, what's his name? I can't remember now. It's like blew it or something like that.
Okay.
Didn't blow it. He won the game for him. So bullpen's just got to come back around. And I feel like if Spencer Strider gets healthy, they might have a solid rotation at the top. So we'll see.
How's Verdugo playing over there?
I don't know.
Outfielder. He was Red Sox, got traded to the Yankees, had to shave his face, looked like an idiot, and then didn't perform well, and then went back to Atlanta, or went to Atlanta, not back.
Let's see. I always love that when the guys go to the Yankees and they shave, like they have to
the
conform to the grooming standard, and then they look, you're like, ooh, this guy, no, you need a beard.
Stop. It's like when Artie officers chop to the BLT. Ooh, stop. What are you guys doing?
Let's see. He's getting a little bit of playing time, it looks like. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think he fell off at the Yanks. But anyway, speaking of baseball and other exciting things, Auburn beat the South Carolina Gamecocks 23-1 or 2 or 3 yesterday. Third worst loss in Gamecock history, with one of them being in 1899. Really rough time for Gamecock baseball. And they're getting ripped apart because they're like, you realize a decade ago, this team was back to back to back College World Series appearances, won 2 of them and lost the third one in, game 5 in the 9th inning. So in the last 3 games, I think the last 3 games combined, they've lost by 53 points. So let's just say the old ERA on the pitchers there, not looking so hot.
Yikes.
But yeah, that's why they call it sports.
That is why they call it sports.
Anything happening in the football region?
Oh, yeah. Liverpool.
I saw the
Premier League champions. So good stuff. They wrapped it up. I think they wrapped it up with like 4 or 5 games left. So this weekend, it would have been like a really big matchup. It was Arsenal versus Liverpool. So like, kind of on paper, looking at it when the season started, it was like, oh, that might be a huge game, like lots of implications. But at this point, Arsenal's not going to fall out of the like top 4. Liverpool's already got it wrapped up. Arsenal just got bounced from the Champions League tournament, so they're kind of got nothing left to play for. Liverpool has nothing left to play for, so it's kind of this like really anticlimactic game now. But hey, it's good though. The champs. 20
championship
trophies.
league, 20 trophies,
20 league titles, tied with Manchester United. Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
And now I understand soccer. I finally get it.
Exactly.
I understand
now
exactly. Understands that exactly how it works. Let's see. This episode is also brought to you by Green Gridiron Green, Mr. Helmet, as we like to call him. Don't Google Mr. Helmet. He won't pop up yet. Probably one day from all the analytics on this podcast. Go in there and get you a helmet. Get you a helmet for anything you want. Get a custom helmet. Get a helmet for your employees. Get a helmet for Nick Saban. By the way, Nick Saban, anyway, go to Mr. Helmet, Green Gridiron Green. Into that ad. I saw like Trump was like naming Nick Saban like some position for college football, and I didn't know that the government was like a part of college football.
I love when the government gets involved with sports.
I love when the government gets involved in anything. Just makes it so when they were like, better.
You know what? We need, was it Congress or the Senate to investigate? We're going to investigate the steroids in baseball, and like Jose Canseco and Rafael Palmeiro are like up in Capitol Hill. And you're like, what is happening?
Sources: President Trump creating commission on sports to address issues ailing industry, led by Nick Saban. For years now, blah, blah, blah. Multiple sources, both in Congress and within college sports, spoke to Yahoo Sports. They were not authorized to speak about Trump's plan. The commission will be led by former Alabama coach Nick Saban and Texas billionaire businessman Cody Campbell. My 2 favorite things when government and billionaires get together, because it's always for the little guy when that happens.
Yeah, right. Because sports is just struggling so much. They're not generating any revenue anywhere. Any of the sports. They're really, really struggling. So that'll be good to finally.
All sports are like the WNBA, just cash cows. Just absolute cash cows.
Exactly.
Let's see. Speaking of Trump, he's not the Pope.
Not the Pope.
But we do have a Pope.
We do. An American Pope.
White smoke. Yeah. It is funny. Speaking of Trump and MAGA heads, Trump posts himself as the Pope, which is just like a meme. I kind of thought it was funny. And then a lot of people posted like themselves as the Pope. I did some Mark Ripito memes as the Pope, or not. That's the great. Pope was a lot of the memes like, this person's not the Pope. Nick Saban was one. And I'm like, whatever, it's funny. And then they picked the Pope, and the Pope, of course, is aligned with Pope Francis, because Pope Francis, of the 132 cardinals that voted on this new Pope, Pope Leo, or Leo the what is it? Leo the 34th, whatever it is. Leo, 108 were picked by Francis. So you kind of went what you kind of knew it would go the same. It's like stacking the Supreme Court, right? It's like, hey, yep, we put all these people in here. Now we're going to get things to go the way we want them to go. And so that's the way that they went. But I just thought it was funny. So like, it's an opposition of views, right? Like the MAGA heads should not like some of the views that this Pope has. This new Pope like clearly does not like Trump, but it's America's first Pope. And so no one like actually looks into like, hey, based off like the things that this organization's supposed to stand for, this one, they're just like, America. It's like, we are so back. The Pope's an American. Let's go. Yeah. And I just think it's like
everything.
Yeah. That little Freebird riff, like made by Moondust or whatever. It's just, I just see that. It's like NASCAR, bass fishing, and an American Pope. White Sox fan from Chicago. That's how when you knew when it was White Smoke, I knew he'd be a White Sox fan.
Yep. That was. If he'd been a Red Sox fan, do you think he would have requested Red Smoke?
Well, the red smoke does mean something. I think the red smoke means that red.
I was only tracking black and white. Okay.
I think, or maybe it's black. Black means they haven't come to a decision, right?
Yeah.
Black signals no Pope. Oh yeah, white smoke, elected Pope. Yeah, red smoke means that Sox. The Red Sox are going to win the World Series. Red smoke. I want to make a movie about a heist of Red Sox fans. Actually, we'll just hire Ben Affleck from the town, and they break into the Vatican, and they make the conclave spew red smoke. That's what it's called, right?
Because the Sox. Oh, maybe that's what happened in 2004. The Sox were down in the series.
That's right.
Conclave's going on. They get the red smoke. Pedro Martinez, Kurt Schilling, Big Papi.
All Catholics.
They
big
see
Catholic
it,
guys.
and they go,
Catholic guys.
We got to come back.
Yeah, we got to. And that's why they call it Catholicism. Right there.
That's exactly.
It's clear. That's what it is.
Dang.
So, the Pope. Let's see. Did I get anything from the chaplain? Might have got something from the chaplain. He's a listener that's a podcaster. Every podcaster, listener. What I get, yes, I got chaplain checking in, but if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to you generously without reproach, and will be given to him. James 1:5, NASB 1995. I asked the Lord for wisdom, and he said, secure that trash. That might have been last week. I don't remember. Time. I've been wrestling 400 days this year, so it's hard to remember times and date groups and all that sort of stuff. All right. So we covered the Pope. What else we got?
Yeah. I don't know. You just kind of brought up Ben Affleck. We saw the Accountant 2.
Oh, did you see it?
We saw it. I thought it was like, is he going to win an Oscar? No. Am I glad I saw it? And I thought it was a fun movie. Like, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Recommend checking it out.
I was actually looking for it the other day, and it's not streaming, which I appreciated. Okay.
Yeah.
And then like the 3 bases near me, all the theaters are broken, as they should be, because, we don't know why Marines go out into town and do all this dumb stuff. Well, what do you have for them on base? Well, let's see. The movie theater's broken. The bowling hour's open for 4 hours a day at noon when everyone's supposed to be at work, Geez, don't know why these Marines are going out into town.
That's weird.
But yeah, so I can't find it. I got to look. Maybe some of the bigger Air Force bases have it, and it's not streaming. And then I vaguely remember the Accountant one. I remember him in that room around a oval table and writing on the wall. But I watched the Accountant 2, and he has a gun. And I don't really remember an Accountant 1, him being does he turn into a Navy SEAL? Is that a part of the movie that I just forgot?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's he's has Asperger's, or he's autistic. So he's super good with recalling numbers and photographic.
Hey, in South Carolina, we just call that homeschooling.
But he's also, he was raised by, so his
wolves.
Dad raised him and his brother. And his dad was I think they say he was Army Special Operations, but I think a PSYOPs guy. So he he trained him, and he gets him trained by this kung fu master. That's probably not what the martial art is, but there's a scene where like this like older guy is fighting these two kids and he's making them go over and over again. So it's like, oh, he's super great with numbers and then also can like fight and shoot and drive cars really fast and is like an assassin.
So kind of like a Marine.
He's exactly like a Marine.
Yeah.
I should have just said that.
Yeah, I don't know why you said assassin. Fight, shoot, drive cars really fast.
Yeah.
Okay, so Accountant 2 not going to win a Grammy. Accountant
1 I remember got like trashed hardcore in like the reviews because it was supposed to be like this big blockbuster.
Hey, so did George W. Bush. Look at him now.
It was okay. Look, it was okay. It was fine. It wasn't a bad movie. But then second one we gave it a shot and it was good. It was good.
Okay.
I recommend it.
10 years apart. 2016 was the first one. Yeah, I'll check it out when I can. It's not streaming yet. There's also other things you can't stream, which is frustrating when you're inside the WES. And then you get bored one day and you try to like download all these VPNs. And then it's like, nope, it's specifically blocked for you. And you're like, oh, man, this is terrible. We do not support the troops. But you know it's not blocked? Inside the WES, the OK podcast powered by the Strength Co. So here we are. All right, The Accountant 2. Good. What was it like being in a movie theater? Oh, you never really stopped, right? You're pretty much like fundamentalist.
I mean, definitely less. Yeah. Big part of the our Mormon religion here is we just go see movies in the theater. We're pretty anti-streaming.
That's right.
It's what Joseph Smith would have wanted. We know that.
Yeah, it's what. Yeah, in New York when he had the tabernacles before he floated down the Mississippi on the Ark. Exactly. Yeah, it was like, I want movies in theaters. And I want theaters on bases broken.
At all times.
Let's
get these Marines out in town. Let them cause some trouble.
Did you see that story that I posted of the sink with the trash bag on it?
Oh.
I mean, I know it all looks the same after a while, but it's just like a sink. And there's like a 55-gallon clear trash bag like put over the sink and like taped on the edges. And then there's just an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper that's printed. And it says like CE request number : and then it just says like pending. And then it's just like laid on top in the middle of the sink. And I'm just like, man, like this is like one thing, like, hey, the sink's broken, put the trash bag over it. Like, sure. But then it's like, go to some computer and like type this piece of paper that tells the daily user absolutely nothing. It's just hilarious. And I'm like, man, DOGE is coming for you. Oh, I did want to talk about DOGE. Okay. I was on a clip the other day. I don't watch news networks. I don't really need to because I have the OK podcast, and I have Massonomics and I have the underrated and overvalued podcast. And between that, I have all the news I need. But on X, I saw a clip and it was like so-and-so reporter who I've never heard of goes to DOGE meeting. And it's like a Fox News clip. I'm like, I don't really want to watch this. But then I click it and it opens and he walks in and he's like, hey, so I'm going to do this different than most of my interviews. It's 10 p.m. on Wednesday and DOGE is holding their weekly meeting. And he like makes a joke about like it being at 10 p.m. And he's like, I'm just going to like let you guys run your meeting and I'm just going to talk like if something's like interesting or boring. So they start going around the room and he ends up like interviewing them basically, but they start going around the room and some of the stuff is just like absolutely mind boggling that they're finding. And it's not, it's not mind boggling because like I can see it and I'm just like, man, if they come to the Marine Corps, it's going to be bad. Yeah. Oh, Lord. But it's just, it's like the Institute of Peace has like an armory. And like when they get asked about, like when they ask, like, so why do you guys like have an armory? Like everyone gets defensive and then they like deleted like 1.2 gigabytes of, accounting information. The accountant was probably involved. The second one. And then what else with the Institute of Peace? There's like a contract with the Taliban, where the Institute of Peace has paid the Taliban $150,000. And they're talking about all this stuff, and it's crazy. Or it'll be like, hey, we're at, whatever, I think the Department of Education, and they have, you can go in and see where there's a request for money. He's like, so we go into the request for money, and it says, like this office or this branch requested $300,000. And so you're like, well, what was the $300,000 for? And there's no record and there's nothing. And he's like, or it's, they requested $500,000. And you say, well, what was that for? And it's a bunch of rooms at Caesar's Palace. And so they're throwing parties in Vegas, or they're renting out stadiums. And I forget the guy's name that's at Department of Education. He's like, so we made a rule that if you withdraw money, you have to just upload a receipt of what was purchased. And it went from however many 50s of millions of dollars, a week, a month, to nothing. Just because they required a picture. They're like, Elon jumps in. He's like, we didn't even say, what the picture had to be, or that it wasn't going to be approved. We just said you have to upload a picture. He's like, you could have uploaded a picture of your dog. And then they're talking about, how when fraud first starts or stealing starts, like it's very well rehearsed. A little bit is taken, tracks are covered. And then over years, as people keep getting away with it, he's like, literally people are just going in and being like $250,000, boom, mine. What was another one? That was small business loans. He said, we went into this one really broad. We said, well, how old is the oldest person in the world or in the United States? And the person was 114. So he's like, search for all loans where birth dates people are 115 or older. And it's like $500 million worth of small business loans to dead people. And then they went the other way. They're like, everyone who's 11 and younger, some kind of astronomical number. So then he's like, how about to all the unborn babies? And there's loans to people like born in like 2052, like the Jetsons. He made the Jetsons reference. I don't actually get it. Yeah, it was wild. Or he's like the pandas. He's like, everyone sees a panda and they're like, we got to save the pandas. He's like, and I don't care what your politics are. Everyone should want to save a panda. And so you look and you're like, oh, $1,000 went to this panda. And then 150 of that goes to the contractor, and the contractor pays another contractor 100. And the next one goes and he goes, and you get down to the end and you're peeling the onion apart and there's no panda. He's like, there's not even a show panda. There's not even like a panda to be like, look, we saved one panda. And it was just mind boggling. I watched 22 minutes of it, and Big Balls was on there. And that was pretty funny. Yeah. They get to the point of Big Balls and they're like, how did the name Big Balls come about? And he's like, well, I just kind of thought LinkedIn was always silly and that people take it like way too seriously and think it's so important. And so when I made I think it was for a school project, had to make a LinkedIn. I just made my name Big Balls, and I didn't really think anyone would ever see it, but here we are. I think he was doing the post office. And they did say though, I thought it was interesting. They say, and I could see this happening, they spent a lot of time at the end saying how like awesome a lot of government employees have been, and how they've never had the tools to, like, they've wanted systems to be updated, like the retirement caves where there's like caves of paper, like this could be electronic. Yeah. And so they do like going along rant about like, actually, like there's a ton of great people that have like amazing ideas. They've just never been listened to before. And we're not really doing anything. We're just saying, oh, this guy's been working here for 12 years and has identified all of these problems, and that could be streamlined. Let's give him the tools he needs. So anyway, that's DOGE.
That's good. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Just set them loose on the facilities maintenance and like, yeah, hopefully one day. I just love a good toilet that's been broken in a CP for years and years and years. My favorite. My favorite. Well, all right. Do you want to kick it over to like a lifting question? Yeah. Yeah. Old lifting. All right. Okay. These could be kind of fun. So 2 questions, kind of the same thing. Okay. Fastest way to lose 50 pounds and the fastest way to gain 50 pounds. And I guess we could maybe say gain 50 pounds in a strength type way, not necessarily all muscle, but like if you were like, hey, I want to put on 50 pounds and make it worse. And then like, hey, if I'm trying to lose, been doing starting strength or whatever, or I want to get into lifting and I want to drop 50 pounds, like what would be some great ways to do that?
Yeah. So I think for losing 50 pounds, if you need to lose 50 pounds or gain 50 pounds, the biggest thing that the person needs to understand is something's about to be drastically different in your life. Like wherever you're at, whether you're obese, need to lose 50 pounds, or you're skinny rail guy, your life is going to have to change a lot, and not just necessarily in the gym. That's part of it, but mainly dietary. And I would say kind of especially for both. But if a guy is 5'6", 300 pounds and needs to lose 50 pounds, 100% should start doing some exercise. But really the problem is not with what's happening in the weight room or, on the treadmill or on the track. It really just needs to drastically reduce caloric intake and at some type of a healthy rate. I mean, so for me, when I have gotten clients that are obese, and unfortunately my success rate has been low, because it's changing human behavior. It's not just download this program and follow these 3 simple steps. It is, you have to make a drastic life change. And so you'll see people have success for a short amount of time, and then usually fall off and go back. That's been my assessment of what happens when you're dealing with the obese that need to lose a lot of weight. There has been some success and it is possible, but usually it's changing the behavior is much harder. It's not just about, being a barbell coach or knowing about nutrition or whatever. You're coaching the brain and the behavior, which is different. But I would generally tell them, hey, start moving. Like you're super overweight, 10,000 steps a day, sometimes just a good place to start. And for those folks, this isn't the only way to do it, but a way to find out if someone's serious is I'll generally put them on some type of fasting routine. And what that behavioral change is after is to get them to stop the addiction to food and kind of put themselves in control. So a lot of folks, whether they're morbidly obese or not, think they wake up, they have to eat 3 square meals a day. And, it's association of whatever it is they're doing that they want to eat. It's this time of day. It's when I get home from work. It's after I've eaten dinner and putting kids to bed and I sit down to watch TV, like I'm used to, eating this dessert or whatever the case is. And so you're trying to like break some of those things and get them uncomfortable. So I think fasting can be a tool for that, for them to kind of get back in control. And it's usually very simple. If you talk to people that are grossly overweight and they are going to tell you the truth in terms of what's happening, and you start talking about their morning, it's like they're having a coffee, tons of creamer, a bagel, a pastry. At 9 o'clock, they're at the work, they're hitting the vending machine, having a Snickers bar or a protein bar that's like packed with sugar. They're drinking a Coca-Cola. And so sometimes I'll just look at the morning routine, people's morning routines, not even like our Instagram famous buddy, but people's morning consumption is generally, and this is my assessment, either like almost perfect, right? Like they're eating like a bunch of eggs, a bunch of cottage cheese, like high protein, like starting out really well, or it's terrible. And it's like essentially like no nutritional value. And it's just a ton of carbs and sugar and caffeine, which is great, but it's like getting delivered via a bunch of sugar. And so I'll do basic things like, hey, black coffee until 10 o'clock, like nothing but black coffee until 10 o'clock. And you're trying to just start to break some habits. So I guess that's a long answer to how to lose 50 pounds. But I think the answer would be to first get in charge of your caloric intake, do it with some movement. And then when you see the scale start coming down, and depending on how overweight you are, but you're probably looking for like 2 to 4 pounds a week, 2 to 3, something like that. Nothing crazy. But if you start to see the trend line going down, then as that trend line's going down, do start incorporating some strength training stuff, because as you put muscle mass on, your metabolism is going to increase. You're going to become more efficient at burning fat the more muscle you have on your body. And so you do want to do it, but you just have to be careful of, hey, if I've been sitting on the couch and eating a bunch of food, now I lower my caloric intake a lot and I start to lose weight, but now I up my stress that needs to recover from a lot, you can find yourself like getting way more hungry. And so if the behavioral change are happening where it's, hey, I'm replacing foods with more healthy foods and I'm overall in a deficit, it works really well. But I'm not naive to understand that that is a big endeavor for folks. For the people that need to gain weight, I see this a lot right now with a lot of the Marines that I work with, not work with as a coach, but just like work alongside. And a lot of guys from, 18, 22, and they're rail thin. And, they think it's super cool that, myself or someone I'm with in the gym is deadlifting 400 pounds. And I'm like, hey, brother, like this is totally possible for you as a 22-year-old guy. Like you got to eat more. And it's the same response every time. I eat all the time. I just can't gain weight. And I'm like, you don't. And I see these guys around, or I'll see them in the chow hall. There's a couple guys in particular that I'm really rooting for. And they kind of run for me in the chow hall because I'll see them sitting there and I'll just go over to the milk machine and I'll just fill up 2 glasses and I'll set it down like right on top of their tray. And they're like, oh, sir, I'm so full. I'm like, that's not why you're not getting weight though, because like you need this excess, you need these extra calories. And so I think those guys need to start lifting hard right away because, training hard does increase your appetite. So it's going to make you want to eat more. Recovering increases your appetite. It's going to make you want to eat more. So they need to train hard. They need to, do a program like starting strength, strong lifts, whatever, squat, benching, deadlift 3 times a week so that they are more hungry. They need to get rid of all extra cardio. That's not forever, but that's for the short time. If you're 6'1", 160 pounds, like those kind of guys walk all over the Marine Corps. They are constantly in formation. You go to any formation, platoon size, and there's a 6'1" guy that's, 160. He does literally need to gain 50 pounds. Then the calories just have to go way up and he needs to try to not be burning so many calories doing things that aren't achieving the goal. Doesn't mean that everyone needs to gain 50 pounds, but if his goal is, hey, I want to be 200 pounds at, this height, then calories have to go way up. Mark Ripeto's right. A gallon of milk a day is a great one. If you're lactose intolerant, that just means you're not drinking enough milk. Just power through it. Body will adapt to what is happening. Or these days you have Fairlife, you have milks that are lactose free that you can drink, but a gallon of milk a day, it's an easy thing, right? A jar of peanut butter a day. It's an easy way. Buy one that's not super processed. If you're poor and can't, or you're on a budget, hey, buy the other one. That's fine too. But I would say the takeaway would be if you need to gain 50 pounds, like coming from the voice of me, like who's trying to sell you plates and get you to do barbell training. If you need to lose 50 pounds, all of your training in the gym isn't near as important as the behavioral change of consuming less calories and getting in control of your diet. Like you need to get those. And as soon as you start to get that under control, start lifting weights and be careful not to overeat as you introduce new stress. And if you're the young guy, the time in the gym is like the easiest part of this task. It is 100% the easiest part, going in, following a program. And the hardest part is going to be eating when you don't want to. And at some point, as you start to gain mass and put on muscle, the eating requirement, even though it's the same, you're still eating way more than you were before. It starts to become easier because your mass in your body starts to grow and it's going to require more nutrients and it becomes easier. And I mean, dirty bulk for a guy in his young 20s that's on a budget, excuse me, I don't think is a bad thing. It's not something that I would want him to do for, all the way until he's 40 years old, or probably not a guy who's 37 and already has a belly needs to do. But I think if you're 22 and you want to gain 50 pounds, there's nothing wrong with, eating high protein meals all day and like housing a pizza and a pint of ice cream at night just to get your calories up. As long as you're training hard, I don't think that's going to actually make you super fat if you're following the program. What I would say, and I'll leave it at this, is a lot of people though, they don't follow the program and they don't understand that the consistency in all elements is important. And, if you're going to go on this endeavor and eat this much food, it's like, I have to make sure I'm squatting 3 times a week, 3 sets of 5, adding weight when I don't want to. And what generally happens is people start going up, it starts to get hard, something starts to hurt. And so then they dial back the stress, which then now the requirement for calories is essentially getting lowered. It's more difficult to eat and they stall out and they just walk around saying that you can't gain weight. You can gain weight. So get after it or lose it if that's what you need to do. There you go.
What if I want to add 50 pounds to the barbell, is there like a place I can get some sort of like weight?
Yeah, pair 25 from www.thestrength.co. I do want to talk a little bit about
easy way.
Barbells. Have you used the Duffalo bar at all?
I have not. That's the kind of like, it's kind of like curved a little bit.
Yeah, it's the Kabuki strength bar. I don't think they make it anymore. If they do, Rogue may have bought them and make it. I can't remember the exact setup. Head over to Massonomics. Those nerds over there, all they talk about is home gym equipment. They can probably tell you the saga there. A kid, they're good buds. Yeah, it's curved. And so the idea is like for shoulder relief. There's probably other ideas from people of like increased range of motion on the bench press and like other uses. But in general, I would say that bar is for guys with tight shoulders or, bigger pecs that struggle to get into the low bar position. I've used it a few times and before recently, and I've never really been a huge fan because I don't know. It doesn't give me as much relief as I'd like. I've never loved it. And I've always had another safety squat bar available to me when that bar's been available to me. So either the Mars bar, which is my personal favorite. And I think the second closest to that is the Kabuki transformer bar, because you can actually get the bar low, replicated in a low bar position. I think there's other brands that have knocked off both of those now. So there's probably more out there that I don't know about. But where the bar actually gets lower on your back, the Elite FTS and some of the other ones, I forget the one that's over here. I feel like it starts with a C and it's red, Cyberton or Carrington. I'm not the names guy, but anyway, my problem with those is it you wear it like a full back collar and it sits super high up on the back and it's totally fine. It'll work. And if you're dealing with shoulder or elbow pain or elbow tendonitis, it will relieve that. But it just puts it in the high bar position and kind of like a high bar position, which I don't prefer to squat that way, mainly just because I've done the back squat in the low position like all the time. It's what I'm used to. It's how I prefer to squat. Not saying it's bad. Anyway, I say all that to say the Duffalo bar in the gym that I'm training in now, they have whatever the red one is, might be Cyberus, something like that. And the handle is bent very badly. So it's like bent out. And so you're like, have this like weird, like it technically works, but I don't like using it because it's all bent and it's the high bar position. So I'm like, okay, I'll do this Duffalo bar. And so if someone has a suggestion for me, I need your help because I'll work up into it. And I've been squatting heavy with it, in the 400s and the bar. So you put it in the J hooks and it like when you put it in, it rotates. So like the U is down. You're like, okay, whatever. So you put 135 on, which is not 135, it's 145 because the bar's 55 pounds, whatever. And then you have to like flip it up and then like hold it. And then, but if the whole point is like, I'm trying to relieve like shoulder or elbow discomfort, now I have to like hold it, which kind of restricts the way that I get under there. And then I walk it out and I squat it and it's fine with 135 or 145. And then you go back in and then like, as soon as you let go of pressure, it like flips back down. But then as you start getting up in load, hey, I'm going to squat 385 for 5. It's actually like, it's not hard to flip it, but it's a thing of like balancing it there, like as you get under and then
centered in the rack.
No, it's not going side to side in the rack. It just wants to flip down because there's so much weight on it. And so I assume someone's figured out a better way to do this. But the bar does relieve some of the pain in the shoulders and like the elbow. It like gives you more relief, but the racking and unracking I don't like. And the other thing I really don't like, and again, this is just have spent a lot of time in gyms, in squat racks under the bar. And the little things start to matter is the barbell sleeves are curved down coming off the outside of the J hooks. Does that make sense? Because the bar, it's like a back of a buffalo. So it comes down. So like if here's the J cup, like the sleeve comes off at a downward angle. So what I don't like about this is I generally go like one plate, I do the empty bar, a couple sets, one plate, couple sets, 2 plates a set, 3 plates a set, 3 plates and a quarter. And then like whatever I'm going to, I've been working a lot lately between like 360 and 420, somewhere in that range.
Nice.
And I don't like to use collars until I'm at that work weight because I'm just doing it once and put more bars on or more plates on. So with one plate, it's fine. But as soon as you get 2 on there, and especially if you're using like fat, cheap bumpers with like the metal insert rings, like it wants to slide down. So as I'm putting plates on, I'm like walking out and I can feel it start to shift. And I'm like, dang it. I go back. So then I have to put the collar on, and this gym only has a stupid like circle collars that you have to go all the way down the shaft and lock in. So it's like if I had my strength coat collars, especially if I'm using all bumpers where every plate's the same size, like I can just pop off the collar, pull the plate out a little bit, put the collar back on, and then everything would just stay on. But instead I got to take this round collar off, take it off, put it up here, go to pull the 25 off, and then things start sliding down. And it's really annoying. So I don't know. There's an invention out there for a very small niche market of people that like the Duffalo bar as their favorite lifting bar, where the J hooks are like at some weird angle so that the barbell sleeves are flat and the rack has like some type of holder or spring or something so that the bar is always at the convex, up towards the convex, up towards the pull-up bar.
Yeah.
That's my complaints with it.
You got to get a couple Lance Corporals in there to hold the bar.
That's right.
You get under it,
Yeah. Hey, devil dogs.
Hey,
every Marine is a devil dog. Come in here, hold this bar.
Let me show you boys how to squat real quick.
Yeah.
You get a couple of those skinny boys, and you have them hold it.
Yeah, some of them skinny boys, and they drink milk in between sets. What's your rest between sets? My rest between sets is you will finish a pint of milk. And when you finish that pint of milk, I'm going to do set 2. You set the pace.
They'd be like, oh, that major's back that makes people drink milk. Oh
man, there's some guys in the chow hall that like see me walk in and it's like grab their tray and sprint. There's a lot of guys, though, to be fair, that see me in the chow hall and get excited. Like those devil dogs that scan the little ID card. Whew, they get hit with that trivia every day. And they're like ready. And I'm just giving them stickers. Like I got so many Strength Co 45 pound OK podcast, Godfather battery stickers. Hey, 2 Marines, 2 medals. Dave Daly, Sim Handley Butler. Here's this. Oh, tight, sir. I love a sticker. And they like put them on their phones. Like never heard of me, never heard of the OK podcast. Like this is going on my phone. I'm like, wow, like the thing that's going to be in your pocket every day. Okay. We made it. Put them in the top of their cover. It's we branded out here. I don't think any of them listen, but they got stickers.
Maybe one day.
Never know.
Hey, if they are listening, we appreciate you.
Hey, thank you for your service. We support the troops.
Podcaster. You are a podcaster. If you're a listener, you're a podcaster.
Every listener is you never know. One day you're getting a sticker and a glass of milk in the chow hall, and the next day you're a guest on episode 071.
Oh my goodness.
I feel like we should shout out the mothers.
Oh yeah. Their day is coming up. Well, for you, it was a week ago for you, and then for us here outside the Wes, it's in it's in 2 days here.
I'm actually going to do 5 Mother's Days this year because I'm crossing the date time group so much, International Dateline. That does not mean dating outside race. That means the international Dateline. Yeah. So my mom, she does listen. One of the few that does listen probably likes about 80% of it and 20%. So let's flip that. Probably likes about 20% of it and 80% thinks is nonsense. But mother, thanks for producing me. We appreciate that. We salute you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think my mom's a listener now. We were on that Montana trip. She was like, wait, why does Grant always say that you're a Mormon? And I'm like, it's just a thing. She's like, and I'm like, I'm not Mormon, Mom. She's like,
set the record straight.
Well, why does he say that? And I'm like, I think we're just joking around.
You're
it's
like,
the OK
Mom,
podcast,
it's Grant.
right? We're just yeah. Appreciate it. She's a great lady.
Yeah, great lady. Big fan of Jeff's mom. Big fan of my mom. Big fan of my mother-in-law, Odie, Swagra. And of course, shout out to my wife and mother of my daughter, Isabella. Crushing motherhood. First Mother's Day. Sent some gifts back for her. Do a little FaceTime action mañana. And appreciate all the moms and mom figures out there. So call your mother. This is going to release on Sunday. If you're listening to this and you haven't called your mom, We appreciate your priorities, but we think they're out of order. So secure the trash, call your mom, and then tune back in. Or for Mother's Day, do one of those like community watch where you both watch the OK podcast together.
Yeah.
And then we'll just make this clip right here. Hey, if you're listening to this podcast, go call your mom because your mom loves you. Okay, that's what I said. Okay. Secure the trash, call your mom.
Ooh, mom saved drowned. Shout out to my sister. Great mom. Two awesome kids. They were also on the Montana trip. She's I don't know about every week listener, but she definitely tunes in from time to time. So again, all right. Shout out to all the
shout
moms
out to my
listen.
Sister, also a great mom.
Hey.
Never listens because she has 5 kids, and I think it's impossible to have time to listen.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of work. It sounds like she's always tired.
Yeah. I'd say it's a thankless job, but it's really not. You actually get appreciated a lot. So
this podcast thanks podcast.
Yeah. To the moms. Let's see. Any saved rounds, alibis?
There's one in here. I feel like there's potential for it to be a good one. You posted it. Base operational support team.
Oh man. It's not, it's actually not even that great. It's just, so some Marines think I have an obsession with signage at this point. And I'm like, I don't like, it's just like, look around because it's the most underappreciated thing in DOD, just the amount of signs.
It really is.
And just so everyone knows, like I'm capturing like 1/10 of the signs because there's so many, but I'm driving by, dropping some Marines to board some aircraft on another base. And I just see like big block letters, bossed, on the side of a building that's like building number 5417 or whatever, which by the way, never tell anyone a building number. That's like my pet peeve. Oh, I'm in building 5417. Yeah. All right. Because this is a numerical base that makes sense. But it's all the buildings memorized. And then like on the side of the building, it's like base operational support team. And I don't know why it just made me laugh, but I'm just like the amount of like acronyms and like, was the acronym created first because BOST is rememberable, or was like the base operational support team first, or like, why can't they just be a part of the base operations? I don't know. I just had a good laugh. It was nothing that crazy. I just saw it and put it in as a topic. BOST.
I love that.
Yeah. You need that software that's over at McBill. What's a McBill?
Building 3423. It's next to building 7.
Like, you got to call the PO. What's the PO? The program office. Oh, yeah. Okay. Some of the acronyms are just crazy. It's like when people say gents. It's like, you're just so busy. You don't have the time to say gentlemen. Like you're just so, I think we've covered that one before, but the BOST.
I love it. The BOST.
Yep.
Hey, go check them out. They'll support the operation.
Check them out.
They'll support you.
Any operations you got on base, you have a support team.
Hey,
never forget that.
I love that. Oh, let's see.
Oh, and shout out Trey's mom and Trey's wife, mother of 3. All the moms.
Hey, all the OK podcast moms. We appreciate you.
Triple coverage over there. Sounds like a lot of work.
I mean, that might be it.
Might be it.
Spam. Has your spam? Is that you're referring to the meat in there? Has your
spam intake no, I was
increased?
Just saying. Yeah, so part of me being made for the Orient is I just love those spam musabi.
Spam musubis.
Yeah, like those little rolls. It's like meat.
Dude, those are so good.
Rice, and then like the salt from the seaweed. And out here, they often put an egg in there too. Like, and it's not. I don't know what type of egg it is, but it's like the kind of egg you'd get in like a sausage, egg, and cheese sandwich, but it's like perfectly like squared out. But it's like you're hungry, you miss the chow hall, you walk in there, and like you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna eat like 3 spam and egg musibis for dinner. Musubis? What are they?
Musubis.
Spam I've really picked up the dialect. Yeah, I'm really good. I never get told that I sound like I'm mocking them. I'm like, I'm not. I'm saying it exactly how you're saying it. Konnichiwa. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Have you been to Coco's?
I have not been to Coco's.
Okay.
Haven't been there, or CC's Chicken and Waffles, which is what the
I don't know that one.
Marine's big fan of out here. Okay. I have had ramen. I have had, I feel offensive saying this, I don't mean to, but how I learned about it in California, we refer to it as Korean barbecue. But if I had to wager, that's not what it's called out here. It's like in Kuyaku, it's Kabisu, Inayaka,
I can't remember what it's called. Yeah.
Inayuku, something like that.
Yeah.
Which I don't dislike. And it's 5,000 times better than chow hall, which is the third part. Is I've had a bunch of terrible chow hall food. But it's like you finally get off work and it's finally a day where you can leave base. So you're like, I know I want to leave base. And then they're all like 20 to 30 minutes away. And then you get there and it's like a very slow process. And then like all the pork is just like splattering in your face and in your hair and on your clothes. And you're like covered in smoke. And then you like come back and you're like, I have to shower. It's like, and I have to take a cold shower. Or I'm going to start sweating for the next 5 hours while I'm trying to sleep. So I'm a fan. I am a fan. It is good. I don't get as ecstatic about it as some people do. And I think the other part of that is when I first was taken out for that style of meat cooking in California, I was like, oh, wow, cool new thing. Like, and now it's like, oh yeah, I've kind of done this already, but no, it's good. Yeah. I really need to go to sushi. I haven't been to sushi yet, and I really like sushi, and it's cold, so maybe it induces less sweat.
Yeah.
It's a lot of sweat out here, brother. It is, and I'm just so glad that the sleeves are. I'm so glad that the sleeves are rolled. Like nothing makes me happier than just having the feeling of someone just squeezing your arm right at the crease of your armpit sweat all day long.
Just sealing in those juices.
And thank God I have a green shirt on to prove that I'm a good Marine. And Marines have fought and died in tougher climates. I feel bad saying anything, but let's just say the sweat is incredible. Like it is just like, it's like everywhere I go, I get back to my computer and I like put my arm on the desk and it's like, I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Why is there a puddle here?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Rolled sleeves, man. Some $89.99. Hey, let's flip them up backwards and show the inside of the garment because it'll look tight.
Yeah, why
good idea.
Marines do that?
It's so terrible. It's so stupid. Rolled sleeves. Major sleeves. But you start with major sleeves on Monday, and by like Tuesday at noon, they're on the other side of your elbow. So you actually have to to avoid rolling your sleeves every day, you actually have to start the week high. And then they're at like peak major length by Thursday because they've gotten so much sweat into the roll. Yep.
He's the TTPs.
That's what I love about him. Trey's not here. You want to take this thing down for a landing?
Oh, Lord. Okay. What episode were we on?
070.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Coach. All right, you've been listening to the Okay podcast. That was episode 070. We really appreciate you tuning in and sticking with us. And we know we did not miss a week last week. Let's just, again, clarify that. But yeah, if you want to check us out on social media, you can find all of our stuff at www.theokpodcast.com. We've got all the social media links posted there. Check us out on YouTube, subscribe, leave a comment, tell us what your favorite topic of the podcast is. Tell us how great sleeve rolls are, or
do a comment of Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah. Tell Grant what level spice he should get when he goes to Coco's and why it should be a 10 to just start off and just let him sweat even more. Let's see, what else does Trey talk about? Yeah, well, shout out to our sponsors, right? Those that keep the lights on. BW Tax, Gridiron Green or Green Gridiron, Mr. Helmets, what we just call them here. We're powered by the Strength Co. So if you listen to that bit about gaining weight or losing weight and you want to get under the barbell, go to www.thestrength.co. Is the Strength?
Yep. That's it on strengthco.com. They all work. All roads lead to American plates.
Ooh. We got some new colors of their squat tee on there.
Yeah.
We got some restock of some tees. I have it on good authority that the Semper Fi bar is going to be coming back here soon.
2 weeks, Memorial Day weekend.
Lots of good stuff to check out there at thestrength.co. Anything else, Coach?
I think that's it. Thanks for tuning in. www.thestrength.co. If you want to see me lift with the Duffalo bar, I'm Grant SSC on X. Thanks for tuning in. And Trey, we miss you. If you made it this long, you probably already logged off. But if you did, you're the best 4 ever. Worst 4 ever. Best friend ever. We'll see you next time.